Hey there, welcome back. In the previous lesson we learned about streams and now we know that what is behind scenes of block and how block works. In this lesson we are going to implement a simple counter app by using block pattern. Just note that block pattern, not block package. So let's get started. First of all, let's create a new folder and let's call it block because we are going to separate business logic from UI. As you know, inside this folder we are going to have three files: event, state, and block. So let's create these three files. I'm gonna call counter state, counter event, and finally counter block. Okay, awesome. Let's start with event. Before we write any code, I will explain something important. In block, we separate two things completely: what happened and what the UI should look like. And this is exactly where events and states come in. An event represents something that happened. It is usually triggered by the user, but not always. For example, button clicked, login requested, refresh started, page loaded. Events describe actions. Events are not UI, events are not logic, events are simply something happened. Think of a restaurant. When a customer orders pizza, that order is an event. The waiter doesn't cook. The waiter only delivers the request. The kitchen receives the request, processes it, and prepares the result. This is exactly how events work in block. The UI sends events, and the block decides what to do. Alright friends, let's create our events. But now you may be wondering how we can create an event. This is very simple. We have nothing complex and they all class. So actually we are gonna create some classes. As I said, we have two actions: increment and decrement. And as I said, an event is an action. So we have two actions, increment and decrement, and we are gonna create two classes: increment and decrement. So I'm gonna do this. Here I'm gonna define new class and let's call it increment event, and another one should be decrement, just like this. But we have a small problem, and that is our classes are not the same because we can't introduce multiple classes, multiple events for block, and our classes should be same. How we can do this? This is very simple. We just need to define an abstract class and then these classes must inherit from that class. So here I'm gonna define abstract class. Let's use abstract keyword, class, and the counter event. And here we just need to use extends keyword and inherit from counter event, just like this. Now our events are ready. So let's move on and implement our state. Now we can send actions to the block, but after processing logic, how does the UI know what to display? This is where state comes in. The state represents the current condition of the UI. In simple words, state is the data the UI needs to display. Events describe what happened, states describe what the UI should look like. Let's go back to the restaurant example. The customer places an order. This is the event. But eventually, the kitchen sends back something: pizza ready, pizza failed, preparing pizza. These are states. States represents the current situation. Okay, so we need to create some classes exactly like events here. And in this case, we only have one class because we only have one state, and that is current value. We don't have any loading or fail or other states. So we need to create one class. I'm gonna do this and let's call it counter state. And also there is no need to create abstract class. Why? Because we have only one state and we are gonna introduce this state class to the our block. But when we have many classes like event, we have to create abstract class and inherit from that class. But in this case, there is no need. Okay, but how we can display current value using this class? Exactly, we need to define property and let's call it counter value and define in constructor. Okay, awesome. Counter state is ready too, so we can move forward and implement our block. Okay, we created events and the states, but now we need something that connects them together. Something that receives events, processes logic, and emits new states. And this is exactly the job of the block class. The block class is the brain of the feature. The UI shouldn't contain business logic anymore. The UI only sends events and listens to states. Okay, so here I'm gonna create a class called CounterBlock. This class will contain all counter related logic, and from now on, the UI shouldn't directly change data anymore. Now the question is, how can the UI communicate with this block? Exactly, we learned before that streams allows us to send data over time. So here I'm gonna create a stream controller and I'm gonna call event controller. And as you can guess, we have to set counter event as a generic type of stream controller. Why? Because this controller only accepts counter events. So this controller will receive events from the UI. Whenever the user does something, we send an event into this stream. Think of this as the input of the block. Now we can receive events, but after processing logic, how do we send data back to the UI? Exactly guys, we need to another controller for state. So here I'm gonna create new stream controller and let's call it state controller. And again, we have to set counter state as a generic type of this controller. So this controller is gonna return counter state. And this controller is responsible for emitting states. The UI listens to this stream, and whenever a new state is emitted, the UI rebuilds automatically. So now our block has an input stream for events and an output stream for states. And in order to display counter and the value of counter, we need to have internal counter. So here I'm gonna define new integer and I'm gonna say 0 for default value. This is our internal data. Now we have events, states, and internal data, but nothing happens yet. We still need to listen to events. But how we can do this? This is very simple. We can do it inside constructor of our class. So here I'm gonna say event controller.stream.listen, and inside this we are gonna define our logic. But for now, I'm gonna define new method, and let's call it underscore map event to state. We are gonna define and create this method later, so don't worry. Now whenever you wanna create object of counter block, event controller will automatically listen to a stream of events. This is one of the most important parts of the entire architecture. Whenever a new event arrives, map event to state is called. This is exactly how the real block package works internally. So now we can receive events, but we still need to process them. So it's time to implement map event to state. This method is gonna take counter event as an input, and this method contains the business logic. First, we receive the event, then we check which event arrived. If it is increment event, we increase the counter, and if it is decrement event, we decrease the counter. That's it. And after updating the data, we have to emit new state. How we can do this? This is very simple. We are gonna use state controller .sync.add and emit new state. I mean counter state with new value of counter. That's it. But note that we don't update the UI directly. We emit a new state and the UI reacts to that state. Events go in, states come out. Now our block works internally and the UI still can communicate with it. So we need to expose some public APIs. I mean, we can expose sync method of event controller and stream method of state controller, because we are gonna use sync method for add events and we are gonna use stream for listen to states. So here I'm gonna define two get methods. For one of them, I'm gonna return sync method of event controller, and for another one, I'm gonna return stream method of state controller. That's it. The UI shouldn't access controllers directly. Instead, we expose only what is needed. The UI can send events and listen to states. This keeps the architecture clean and controlled. And finally, there is one very important thing we should never forget when we are using stream, and that is dispose method. So here I'm gonna define dispose method, and inside this I'm gonna close event controller and state controller. Streams consume memory, so when we no longer need them, we must close them. Otherwise, we may create memory leaks. Okay, great job so far. Our block is fully ready. It can receive events, process logic, and emit new states. But right now, our UI is still disconnected from it. The UI can't send events or receive states yet. So now let's connect the UI to our block. In block architecture, the UI doesn't contain business logic. The UI has only two responsibilities: send events and display states. First of all, let's create an instance of counter block. This object contains all logic, all streams, and all state management. Okay, now the UI needs to listen to the state stream, because whenever a new state arrives, the UI should rebuild automatically. How we can do this? This is very simple. We need to use stream builder. Stream builder is a widget that listens to a stream, and whenever new data arrives, it rebuilds automatically. So where do we need to use this widget? That's right, where we want it to be updated, and that is the value of the counter. So I'm gonna wrap text into the stream builder. And this stream builder is gonna take counter state, because our stream is gonna return counter state. And in stream, I'm gonna pass state stream from our block. This means listen to every state emitted by the block. And before the stream emits data, Flutter still needs something to display. So I'm gonna provide an initial state by using counter state and pass 0. Why? Because the return type of our stream is counter state, and we can't use anything else. And finally, we have builder method here, which is gonna return our text. And this method is gonna give us two values: context and snapshot. Snapshot contains the latest data received from the stream. And because our stream emits counter state, we can access the counter value here. And now you can understand something amazing here. We are not calling setState. The UI rebuilds automatically when the stream emits new data. With setState, we manually tell Flutter to rebuild. But with block, the UI reacts automatically to state changes. So now the UI can receive states. But we still need a way to send events. So how can we do this? This is very simple. We just need to use event sync. So inside onPressed, when the button is clicked, we send an event to the block. I'm gonna use block.eventsync.add, and I'm gonna say increment event, and the other side I'm gonna add decrement event. The UI doesn't increase the counter directly. The UI only sends an event, then the block decides what to do. And this is so powerful, because now the UI doesn't know how the logic works internally. The UI only says, hey block, this happened. Okay, perfect. Now if I wanna explain flow, I'm gonna say the user clicks the button. The UI sends increment or decrement event. The event enters the event stream, block receives that event, processes logic, and emits new state. Then stream builder receives the new state and rebuilds the UI automatically. This is reactive programming. The UI reacts to state changes. Okay, great job so far. Now that we fully understand how the block pattern works internally, in the next lesson, we can finally start using the real Flutter block package. See you soon.